Hey everyone, how are you this evening? It's Dawn, and I'm here a little bit earlier than I was last night. Let's just make sure we are connected. And I am so appreciative for all of the messages that I've been getting. And if there's any way that I can help or add value to you, or any questions that I can continue to piggyback on this information with, I would be more than happy to do so. So I want to talk to you a little bit and tie together some of the principles that we were talking about yesterday. And I'm going to piggyback that with the new principle that I'm going to be bringing up tonight. And I promise this is going to be really short and sweet. As you can see, I got a little cleanup to do down here in the studio. So I want to talk to you, yesterday we were talking about the law of the pitcher, right? And this is modeling. This is leading the pack. As a leader, people are looking to you to demonstrate the right behaviors. There was an idea that came to my mind, and I didn't share it with you last night, so I want to share this with you as we lead in to the law of buy-in. And this basically is, do people buy into you? Do people buy into your vision? Do people buy into your leadership? Do you have credibility with your team, with your organization? And so that newspaper method that I want to talk to you about, I want you to think for just a moment, and this piggybacks on last night's modeling that we were talking about. It is the Warren Buffett method, okay? And this concept goes like this. If what I'm about to do, hey Jeff, hey Tammy, how are you guys tonight? Thanks for jumping on. So if what I'm about to do was going to be printed in the newspaper tomorrow morning for all my family, all my friends, all my colleagues to read about and learn about, how would I feel about that? Is it something that I want out there in the universe? So if your check and balance is using this newspaper method, I can guarantee you that you're going to maintain significant credibility amongst your colleagues, your team members. So as you go into this law of buy-in, right? So again, remember yesterday we were talking about your people are watching you. They're modeling what you're doing. It's not the, adage of do as I say, not as I do concept. They're demonstrating the behaviors that you're seeing you do. Hey girl. Okay, so what is buy-in all about? The buy-in has everything to do with vision, but here's the most important piece of this principle that I want you to understand. People will never buy into your vision unless they buy into you as an individual. How do they buy into you? And think about leaders that you followed, okay? You may like them, you may respect them, you may applaud their efforts, they might have all the noble intent in the world, but maybe you can't attach yourself to their vision, right? Is their vision really clear? Have they bought into you as an individual? That is so important. That's so crucial at this place, is to make sure, oh, we got fans going now, is to make sure that they have bought into you as an individual. What is your character like? What is your integrity like? What are your intentions like? Are you egocentric and solely focused on you and what you want to accomplish and your goals and your vision? Because your vision doesn't work, guys, unless you're bringing people along for the ride, unless you're pouring into them. So I want you to think about this. When you think about your team, when you think about your organization, when you think about business colleagues and who you're surrounded by, have they bought into you first? Because if they don't buy into you, they will never buy into where you want to take them. Do they love you? Do they trust you? Have they bought into you? Are they committed to you? Are these people willing to walk the walk with you, okay? Or is there a lot of disgruntled people surrounding you? Are there a lot of people, and I have this question come up all the time, how do I get my people to do anything? Do they not have the same vision? If they're not engaged, if they're not fully invested in you, okay, because you're not invested in them, they're never gonna come alongside you. So we have a couple variables here, right? We have the leader, and then we have the vision, okay? So let's just say hypothetically, people buy in, or they don't buy into the leader, okay? And they don't buy into the vision. What's gonna happen? You're gonna see attrition, you're gonna see turnover, you're gonna lose a lot of people in the process. Let's just say they don't buy into the leader, but they do buy into the vision. They like your vision, they're attached to it. guess what? They're still gonna go elsewhere. They're gonna go, you know what? I love her vision or I love his vision, but I'm not attached to them because they're not committed to me. I don't have buy-in. So they're still gonna go somewhere else. They're still gonna look for another leader. You're gonna see them walk away. Now let's just say there's buy-in to you as a leader. You get a lot of people that love you. And this happens a lot in the space that I'm in. People will follow people because there's relationships there, there's connections there, there's a history there. But let's just say that you're not clear about your vision, or people can't attach to your vision, right? Because you haven't dreamed with them. You don't know what their vision is. You don't know what their intentions, their goals are. Everybody's on their own agenda. So if you have people that are committed to you, but they're not connected to your vision, guess what? It's time to change your vision. It's time to get really clear about where you're going and where you're taking people. Because if you're not taking them to their goals, to their vision, to help them accomplish what they want to accomplish, you're not going to reach the level that you're hoping to. Okay, and where we have the win is when people buy into you, when you've created trust, when you've earned credibility, when you have 100% buy-in to you as an individual, and then your people come alongside you and they can clearly see where you're going. You're fully invested in them. You're adding value to them. Dina, Kristen, Chris, hi guys, how are you? I'm so excited to see you here. I promise I will go back and say hi to each and every one of you. But I really want you to make sure that whatever you're doing, especially when it surrounds this law, is that you're establishing credibility. You're creating a trust factor. You're creating that likability factor. Because again, remember, people do business with people that they know, they like, they trust. So you have to focus on developing that relationship. It has to be from a place of authenticity, honesty. You have to set high standards. You have to be a good example, and that goes back to yesterday's pitcher method. And the top of this call, I was sharing with you that Warren Buffett newspaper method about what are you putting out there in the world. And if the action that you're about to take is going to be printed on the front page of the paper tomorrow morning, what's the integrity of that action like? Is that what you want to put out there in the world? Are you doing the right thing? Other ways to build credibility with your organization: give them the tools that they need to do the job. I see, especially in today's day and age, with social media, with organizations that I'm helping to build right now, my own personal team, is people don't feel equipped. There's so much going on in this space with regards to social media, and there's just such a gap in the learning curve. If you're not a millennial, you are behind the times with technology for most of us. I know I struggle with that. And so what I try to do is make sure that I equip the individuals in my organization, my business builders, with the tools and the resources that they need. So I'm not the first one to do a post if I learn about something. What I do is I make sure that they're educated, they're equipped with the tools that they need so that we can all hit the ground running. I create content for them so that they can easily utilize things on Instagram or on Facebook. I share content with them as I find it for those that like to participate, but they're not as savvy, or they don't have the skill sets to kind of search for the information that they're needing. It's so important, and it's so rewarding to put them out there, let them run first with information, with just exciting news, things of that nature, and develop them as leaders. Make sure you're pouring into them. Make sure that, it's the only way to continue to lift the lid on all of this is pouring into people. I have always believed the best trained team wins, right? And so how are you pouring in? How are you training? How are you keeping voice? And if you're losing voice, it's so important to bring in other people, assets, tools, resources, and people that can help to flood and pour into their cups. So I hope that leaves you with a couple things to think about tonight. Have a great evening, everyone, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.